and El Sordo coming very wide down the outside. Our Ember had got up to the lead. Pharaoh's Daughter and El Sordo are trying to gun it down. El Sordo's the widest and comes over the top.
Yeah, wasn't that great, El Sordo being able to return to the winner's stall and give Dylan Dunn his first winner back from riding off about, I think, 4 or 5 years. So I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, how much luck we've had with Dylan, and yeah, he was able to give El Sordo a good ride. He just sort of let him find his feet early, and he was sort of umming and ahhing whether to go back to the inside or come to the outside. And I'm sort of glad that he went where he did, because yeah, he was sort of, you know, too strong from late. He certainly wasn't a horse that you know wanted to be a hard luck story, because once he got out, he really hammered the line, didn't he? He did a very similar sort of thing at Wangaratta his start before, so we were sort of pretty confident going to Kilmore, especially with Dylan Dunn back in board, and they seemed to be coming down the middle of the track at Kilmore, and that's what he certainly did. So no, it was great to get him back to the winner's stall and give Dylan Dunn his first winner back. As for our other runners, we had Money Wheel in one of the earlier races on that day, and he just he looked like he was going to track right up in the race. I certainly don't think he would have beaten the winner, but I think he would have run second, and then sort of all down the straight, the horse on the outside of him just kept banging and crashing into him, and he sort of never really got a clear run of him. He's a real momentum horse, and he kept getting his momentum hampered sort of down the straight. We ended up protesting and winning the protest, so he actually ended up running third, which was great, which was a great result. So we'll probably go up to a mile with him, and yeah, he should be around the money again. Other runners, we took Lulu's Choice over to Bordertown, and yeah, she was able to return to, you know, a bit of form from her previous prep where she ran third. She sort of loomed up like she was going to sort of be, you know, right in the, you know, the hitting zone, and she just sort of looked like she was going to look for that 1400 metres. So we'll take her to 1400 metres next start, and we'll talk about a little bit more about her in our upcoming runners. So plenty of runners this week, so let's get into them. The first of our runners this week will be Tori's D at Echuca on Saturday. He needs to turn his form around, this horse. To be fair to him, he probably hasn't had a lot of luck. He's been 4 wide in 6 horse fields and things like that, and his last start he was sort of 3 wide, facing the breeze, you know, doing a power of work, and then come back and had his tongue over the bit. So he's probably had a few legitimate excuses, but if he doesn't fire on Saturday, we might just pull the pin and tip him out and give him a break, because we don't seem to be winning this time in. But he's into a 0 to 56 at Echuca, so he certainly gets his chance. He's actually won at Echuca before, so it's obviously a track that we know he races really well at, especially over the 1,000 metres. So Tori, time to turn your form around, and hopefully Saturday that's the day. Take a few runners over to Mount Gambier on Sunday. The first being Miss Gossip Girl. She's drawn really poorly, so she's probably unlikely to run. She needs to find a bit of form, this mare, because yeah, she's hard. She runs a good race and then runs 2 really poor races, and then when she's on her last chance, she seems to pull out an okay run. So the race that we want to take her to is she needs to go there and needs to be super competitive. So probably drawing 15 at Mount Gambier is probably not going to give her every chance. So we'll probably look for another race for her, but if there happens to be a few scratchings or things like that, we might look at the race. But work seems a lot better than what it has been, so needs to translate to the races. So that's Miss Gossip Girl on Sunday at Mount Gambier. Second of our runners at Mount Gambier will be Lulu's Choice. Yeah, it was good to see her get back into the place getters at Bordertown. She needed to really turn her form around, and yeah, she was back to her sort of, you know, that competitive sort of, you know, tough it out herself. So Christine gave her a good ride, and Christine will jump back on her at Mount Gambier on Sunday. The race looks no stronger than what she competed in the other day, if not maybe a little bit weaker. So she'll get every chance on Sunday at Mount Gambier to put her head in front. So we haven't really done a lot with her since Bordertown. She just sort of lives her days out in the paddocks. Do a little bit of pace work with her, but other than that, I think more things with her is if she's happy, then she competes well and races well. So she certainly is at the moment, so hopefully she can keep her form going. The third of our runners at Mount Gambier will be Huey. We're going to probably back him up. He pulled up really well from that run the other day at Hamilton, surprisingly, given how tough a run he had. he's just probably not the horse. If you kick him out of the gates and go forward on him, you need to keep going to then try and restrain him and have him come back to you. He's probably just not that sort of horse. He's a pretty aggressive sort of going horse, and yeah, if you sort of commit to going, you've got to keep going. So I'm going to take him to Mount Gambier. There's a 900 metre 56, so we certainly won't be waiting there. He'll be kick him out of the gates. He's drawn barrier 4, so he's not going to have that, you know, that where you have to sort of cross 2 or 3 other speed horses inside of you. So if you can sort of, you know, jump away cleanly and find the front at Mount Gambier, I certainly think he's going to take a power running down, because he's really pulled up well. We'll keep him nice and fresh and let him rip. So that's Huey at Mount Gambier on Sunday. Well, except with Money Wheel on Wednesday at Sandown, go up to the mile. Whether that race might be a bit strong for him at this stage of his prep, but we'll certainly have a look at a race. Some of those races, they can be really small fields, and sort of people don't accept with them because, you know, you go into town, so they can actually fall away. But I thought he was okay the other day at Kilmore. I just would have liked to seen him sort of have a bit more of a clear run of him. We can get a really good line on where he's at, because he's a real momentum horse. And the other day, just sort of, you know, he got hampered about about a couple of 100 metres, and then another again at the 50, and then right on the post as well. So he never really sort of got a clear crack at him. And Dylan sort of said, coming to the corner, he said he doesn't think he would have beaten the winner, but he certainly was tracking up enough to run second. So going to go up the mile. Hopefully he can just travel a little bit longer, you know, through the run, and then have that really good finish that we know that he's got. So he's pulled up well. So we'll see how he comes through the next few days. But yeah, we'll try and get him to Sandown on Wednesday. We'll take Redivo to Geelong up to the 2400 on Thursday. He was great first up. He over the 1700. I don't think I've seen him probably hit the line as good as what he did over such a shorter distance. Like we were on, like Evan, I know, going into Mount Gambier when he ran that massive race, he was, you know, wasn't hitting the line as good as that over 2400. So I reckon that's as good as he's gone first up ever. So pretty excited to sort of get him right up in his hitting zone, you know, once he gets to that 3,000 metres. And yeah, we'll sort of kick him off second up over Geelong over 2400. But just deliberately this time in, because he is such a clean-winded horse, we don't really need to do massive sort of staying work with him. We just sort of keep him nice and fresh, do a lot of sort of short, sharp work with him. And yeah, he seems to be really thriving on it. He looks great. He looks $1 million. And yeah, I reckon he's in really good shape, certainly heading towards his Jericho prep. So go to Geelong second up, and then we'll sort of, you know, step him up to just sort of see what's around up to those 3,000 metres. But got to qualify him before we get to the Jericho. So, but there's heaps of options to do that. So, but no, couldn't be more happy with the horse the way he's going, and yeah, really excited for his prep. That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Yeah, it was great to get Sordo back in the winner's stall, and yeah, he looks like a horse that can go right through his grades now. Obviously, great to get Dylan back in the saddle and back in the winner's stall. As for our runners, should have a pretty busy day on Sunday at Mount Gambier, so hopefully the long drive is worth it and we can get one of them home. Had a couple of horses trial during the week, and we'll have another couple trial at Colac. We'll have Shortcake, Bella Estrella, and Johnny Diamond will go back to the trials. I think Johnny Diamond, he might be a horse that certainly first up that we might be able to have a look at. His trials have been kept improving, and yeah, I think first up over 1400, he should be pretty spot on. Rupert Clark Day on Saturday. A couple of interesting facts for you. 3 of the last 8 have been the favourite, and the other 5 have been double figure odds. So if the favourite doesn't win, then a roughie does. And bear in mind that the favourite is coming out of barrier 13, which is barrier 13 has given you the last 2 winners of the Rupert Clark. So it's Angel Capital or nothing. Until next week, see you later.